They told you the ceiling was already set. They told you the hype train had left the station, and the only thing left was inevitable crash. But what if you've been staring at the wrong scoreboard? What if the noise you've been hearing isn't the story, it's the smokescreen? Because right now, inside the hardwood trenches of the WNBA, a quiet revolution is unfolding. And if you blink, you'll miss the moment the entire league shifts on its axis. Stop looking at the headlines. Start watching the floor. The Caitlin Clark everyone argued about is gone. The player stepping into the paint today isn't chasing validation. She's rewriting the geometry of the game. Think about surviving the rookie crucible. Every possession gets dissected. Every turnover becomes a national debate. You're handed a legacy before packing your locker. And when the season ends, the world doesn't hand you patience. They hand you a verdict. Caitlin absorbed it, but absorption isn't surrender. Behind closed gym doors, far from the viral clips, a different kind of work began. The kind that doesn't make highlight reels. It makes franchises. She stopped trying to prove she belonged. She started figuring out how to own it. You can feel the shift in the locker room. You can hear it in the way teammates call out plays now. They don't look for the next open man. They look for her first. That's not trust. That's dependency built on proven execution. The league realized too late that slowing down her release doesn't matter if she's already manipulated the defense before the ball even leaves her hands. They're playing defense against a memory. She's playing offense against the future. Watch how she moves now. The first half step is slower. The eyes lift earlier. She's not racing the clock anymore. She's bending it. Defenses that used to trap a half court now chase shadows. She predicts zones before they form. She pulls defenders 2 feet out of position, turning sealed passing lanes into highways. It's not magic. It's mileage. It's brutal experience meeting elite skill. And it's terrifying. But here's the quiet truth nobody's saying. The league adjusted to her scoring. They never adjusted to her mind. Watch the film from October. Defenders started jumping passing lanes. They thought they'd cracked the code, but they weren't reading the court. They were reading habits. And Caitlin doesn't have habits anymore. She has algorithms. Every screen she sets, every glance she drops, it's calibrated to pull specific bodies out of position. The WNBA's physicality was supposed to neutralize her. Instead, it accelerated her decision-making. Contact became data. Pressure became calibration. And now, when she faces the same schemes that rattled her rookie season, she doesn't flinch. She smiles, because she's already mapped the exit. Coaches are scrambling. Film sessions are burning overtime. You can scheme against a shooter. You can physicalize the pick and roll. You can send double teams at every screen. But how do you guard processor? How do you box out a player already 3 decisions ahead? The answer is you don't. You just hope you survive the possession. She's not asking permission to run the offense. She's demanding it through silent authority. The tempo isn't dictated by the shot clock. It's dictated by her rhythm. When she locks in, the game stops looking like basketball and starts looking like chess at sprint speed. Defenders are hesitating. And in this league, hesitation is a death sentence. Look at the assist-to-turnover ratio shifting in real time. Watch how fever scorers suddenly breathe easier. This isn't statistical improvement. It's structural dominance. The floor tilts in her direction. The narrative, still stuck in yesterday, chasing the ghost of rookie year, waiting for an explosion that already happened. It just didn't look like fireworks. It looked like control, precision, a franchise changing its DNA in real time. Yet the cameras point at the wrong thing. They track deep threes, the viral moments. But the real damage happens between the highlights. In hesitation passes that freeze defenders. In pocket passes slicing through collapsing walls. The WNBA has seen generational scorers. It hasn't seen a floor general evolve this rapidly under this much glare. The pressure didn't break her. It forged her. Why are we still asking if she belongs? Because greatness wrapped in expectation becomes invisible. We expect the summit. When someone delivers it quietly, the world calls it normal. But what's happening isn't normal. It's a blueprint. Teams that figure out late will pay for it in the standings. The real question isn't whether she's dominating. It's whether you've noticed which version of her is playing. The stats will eventually catch up. The film already has. And once the tape starts circulating through front offices, the panic won't be about her next game. It will be about how long she's been ahead of them. But the next shift doesn't come from her. It comes from the league's desperate counterattack. When a player changes a game, the game changes its rules to fight back. And the new defensive scheme they just deployed, it's not meant to stop her shots. It's meant to break her will. What happens in those final minutes will completely rewrite her ceiling. They came for her rhythm, not her shot, not her stats. Her rhythm, the league's new defensive blueprint, wasn't drawn on a whiteboard. It was forged in frustration. Film rooms across the WNBA spent months reverse engineering one question: how do you stop a player who sees a future? Their answer wasn't elegance. It was erosion. Wear her down. Make every catch a collision. Turn every dribble into a debate. Force her to earn oxygen. But here's what they missed. Pressure doesn't disrupt a player who's already calibrated for chaos. Watch the first quarter of any recent game. The traps come earlier. The hands are sharper. The language gets louder. It's not just defense anymore. It's psychological warfare. They're not trying to steal the ball. They're trying to steal her tempo, to make her feel the weight of every possession, to remind her constantly that she's a target. And for a moment, it works. You see the hesitation, the slight reset, the breath before the storm. That's the league holding its breath, waiting for the crack that IT never comes. Instead, something else happens. The hesitation isn't uncertainty. It's calculation. The reset isn't retreat. It's repositioning. She lets the defense think they've won the battle for her focus. While they're celebrating the small win, she's already mapped their overcommitment. That extra defender stepping up, it leaves a cutter open. That hard hedge on the screen, it creates a seam only she can see. They're playing checkers with physicality. She's playing four-dimensional chess with space and time. The emotional shift is subtle but seismic. Early in her career, the physical play sparked frustration. You can see it in the clenched jaw, the quick whistle appeals. Now, it fuels precision. Contact isn't distraction. It's a data point. Every bump tells her where the defender's weight is. Every shove reveals their balance point. She's not absorbing punishment. She's collecting intelligence. And she's spending it in real time. Look at the way she uses a sideline now. Rookie Caitlin might have fought to stay inbounds. Veteran Caitlin lets the boundary become a weapon. She drifts just enough to pull a defender into a trap of their own making. The sideline isn't a limit. It's an extra defender on her side. The league taught her to be physical. She learned to be geometric. But the real masterstroke isn't in her movement. It's in her silence. The chirping, the trash talk, the attempts to rattle her, they bounce off. Not because she's ignoring them, because she's transcended them. The noise was part of the curriculum. She graduated. Now, her communication is all in the language of the game. A glance that redirects a screen. A finger tap that signals a cut. She's not just running plays. She's conducting a symphony of misdirection. And the defenders, they're still reading the sheet music while she's improvising the finale. This is where the narrative completely breaks down. We're still debating her efficiency while she's redefining it. Efficiency isn't just points per possession anymore. It's possessions per defensive breakdown. It's the number of players pulled out of position by one decision. It's the silence that falls over a bench when they realize their best scheme just became her best setup. The stats will show assists. They won't show the gravity that created them. They'll show threes. They won't show the defensive collapse that made them inevitable. And yet, the doubt persists. Why? Because we're wired for explosions, for viral moments, for the dramatic, undeniable highlight. But dominance doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. It's in the way a rookie teammate suddenly looks comfortable, in the way a veteran defender starts second-guessing their instincts, in the way a coach's timeout speech shift from stop her to survive her. That's the quiet domination. It doesn't trend. It transforms. The Fever aren't just winning games. They're changing identities. From a team hoping to compete to a team expecting to control. That shift doesn't happen with scoring alone. It happens with leadership that doesn't need a microphone, with a presence that elevates without demanding. Caitlin isn't just getting better. She's making everyone around her see the game differently. That's the ultimate leverage. That's how you don't just join a league. You alter its ecosystem. But here's a tension building beneath the surface. Transformation attracts resistance. The more she changes the game, the more the old guard pushes back. The veterans who built this league see her not as a threat to their legacy, but as a test of its evolution. This isn't personal. It's generational. And the next phase of this story isn't played out in regular season highlights. It's forged in the crucible of playoff intensity, where every adjustment is amplified, where every weakness is exposed, where legacy isn't debated, it's decided. The league has thrown everything at her. Schemes, physicality, psychology. Nothing stuck. So what's left? What's the final play when the blueprint fails? When the target not only survives, but thrives? There's one weapon left. One pressure no amount of skill can fully armor against. It's not in the game plan. It's in the moment. The moment when the season hangs in the balance. When the noise reaches a fever pitch. When the weight of expectation isn't just heavy, it's historic. How does a player built for control handle the one thing she can't control? The world watching, waiting, wondering if the quiet dominance can survive the loudest stage of all. The moment arrives, not with fireworks, not with a viral clip, but with a breath. A single, suspended second in a playoff game where everything is on the line. The crowd is deafening. The defense is locked in. The clock is bleeding out. And she has the ball. This is the test no stat sheet can prepare you for. This is where legacy is either forged or fractured. But watch her eyes, they're not wide with pressure. They're narrow with purpose. The noise isn't drowning her out. It's tuning her in. Every drill, every film session, every silent rep in an empty gym, it all funnels into this heartbeat. She doesn't see the chaos. She sees the pattern. The defender's hips are slightly open. The helper is a half step late. The passing lane isn't there yet, but it will be in 0.3 seconds. She doesn't force it. She waits for it. And when it appears, she doesn't just make the pass. She makes a statement. The assist isn't the point. The point is that she knew, before anyone else, before the camera even caught up. That's the quiet domination. It's not in the celebration. It's in the certainty. And suddenly, the narrative cracks wide open. All the doubt, the criticism, the wait-and-see commentary, it doesn't vanish with a bang. It dissolves with a whisper. Because what you just witnessed wasn't luck. It wasn't a hot hand. It was mastery. The kind that doesn't announce itself. It just executes. The league spent a season trying to solve her. They finally realized she's not a problem to be solved. She's a standard to be met. Look at the ripple effect now. Young players aren't just studying her shot. They're studying her poise. Veterans aren't just guarding her body. They're preparing for her mind. Coaches aren't just drawing up plays to stop her. They're redesigning entire systems to account for her gravity. That's influence. That's impact. That's the quiet part of domination becoming the loudest truth in the room. But here's the twist we almost missed. The pressure never left. It just changed shape. Now it's not about proving she belongs. It's about carrying the weight of what she's become. The expectation isn't just to perform. It's to elevate. Every game is a masterclass. Every possession is a referendum. And she's not just meeting that standard. She's redefining it. Without fanfare. Without complaint. Without ever letting the spotlight distort the work. That's the real story behind the stats. Behind the highlights. Behind the headlines. It's not that Caitlin Clark is dominating the WNBA. It's that she's doing it while the world is still arguing about whether she should. It's that she's transforming the game while the conversation is stuck in the past. It's that the most talked about player in basketball is still being underestimated. Because true dominance doesn't always look like dominance. Sometimes it looks like calm. Sometimes it sounds like silence. Sometimes it feels like inevitability. So why does this matter to you? Because this isn't just a sports story. It's a human story. About pressure. About growth. About the gap between perception and reality. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball. She's holding up a mirror to how we judge greatness. How we rush to verdicts. How we confuse noise for knowledge. And in doing so, she's inviting us to look closer. To question the narrative. To appreciate the process, not just a payoff. The WNBA is evolving faster because she's in it, not just in skill, in vision. She's not waiting for the league to catch up. She's pulling it forward. Every no-look pass, every deep three, every defensive read. It's not just a play, it's a provocation. A challenge to every player, every coach, every fan. Are you watching the right thing? Are you measuring the right metrics? Are you ready for what comes next? And what comes next is the most dangerous part for the rest of the league, because she's still improving, still adapting, still finding new layers to her game. The version of Caitlin Clark that dominated the season, it's already outdated. The next one is being built right now. In the film room, in the weight room, in the quiet moments after the crowds go home. The league isn't just preparing for her next game. They're preparing for her next evolution the next time you watch her play, don't just watch the ball. Watch the space she creates. Watch the decisions she forces. Watch the way a single player can change the rhythm of an entire game without ever raising her voice. That's the quiet domination. That's the real story. And if you still think she's overhyped, you're not watching closely enough, because greatness doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just shows up, does the work, changes the game, and leaves the world wondering how it didn't see it coming. If this breakdown opened your eyes to what's really happening in the WNBA, hit that like button. Subscribe for more deep dives that go beyond the headlines. And tell me in the comments, what's the one play that made you realize Caitlin Clark wasn't just good, she was different? Because the conversation doesn't end here. It just gets smarter.